Have you been in a situation, something went wrong? You mentioned your bag got stolen, you've gotten mugged, something like that. And like, why didn't that stop you from travel when I think so many people, that's their fear, that something bad would happen. And if it does happen, they might not want to travel again. I have to assume it's happened to you and you've kept going.
Yeah, I got stabbed in Colombia. And my mother always sends me like every State Department warning about Mexico. But it's like, hey, like we live in the States. People get like gunned down going to Walmart, right? There are mass shootings all the time in this country. Bad things happen. It's just part of life. It doesn't matter if you're home or in Mexico or in Thailand or in Paris or in Japan. Shit happens. And so what, you can live in fear and say, oh, I'm just going to never go anywhere. But then you walk across the street to a movie theater and then you don't make it out because of some psychopath. Or you get hit by a car on your way to work. So it's like, are you really going to live in fear about, every what if? If so, then like never leave your house.
If you're up for it, I'd love to hear the story in Colombia, and maybe from the perspective of, I think a lot of people don't really plan for that. And so they don't know what they would do in that circumstance. And I imagine, you're here now, so it all went well. What kind of happened, and how did you know what to do, and where did you end up going, and how did the trip unfold after that?
Yeah, I was in Bogota, and I had my phone out, and long story short, you shouldn't have fancy electronics out. I just forgot to put it back in before I left this cafe. And so I tried to take it, and he jerked backwards instead of just going forward. And so like we started tussling. And then he had a small little knife. And I thought he was just punching me. I mean, if he had like shown the knife, I would have been like, yo, take the phone. But afterwards, I was like, oh, so sore. And I was just covered in blood. It's because like,
I assume you went to the hospital and everything was fine.
yeah, the whole thing cost me like $50. Honestly, like the flight home was like $1,000, and I asked for reimbursement for that. But the the $50, I was like, that's not worth the paperwork. I mean, they could have done it for $50, but I did it for the flight.
Would you go back to Bogota after that?
Oh yeah, 100%. I love Bogota. I was really sad to have to go home.
Yeah, I've also been to Bogota, and I think especially, it's just a great place. Like, I love the country of Colombia. I've been there a few times. Bogota is close enough and no, time zone good enough that I think you could even do it in a long weekend and have a great trip. Not that I don't want to, not do slow travel, but I think for those who don't have the time to do it, it's still a place that you can go in a short period of time because of the proximity.
It's such a phenomenal place. I was there for 6 weeks and could stay another 6 weeks.